Are we back? Looks like we are. Is there anybody here? No, there's no one here. Okay. Right. So I'm just trying to get the stream back up again. There we go. We've got people in here now. Don't know what the hell's going on with the internet at the moment. It's broke. Proper broke. Sec. Okay. Right, there we go. Back again. Don't know what's going on with the internet. This happened yesterday morning. Seems to be some intermittent issue with Virgin again. But then everyone will say, switch to Sky. And I know loads of people with Sky that have got problems. And then they say, switch to this company. And then that company has problems. Basically, it all runs on the same pipes. So it doesn't matter which supplier you use. It all comes through the same pipe and you're stuffed. So sorry about that. Nothing I can do. We're getting to that point in the year where it starts to rain. And for some reason in the UK, when it rains, the internet doesn't work. So I think we just get flooded, basically. But anyway, right. So I was talking about the US dollar yen. Is anybody in here? Can anybody hear me? Whipping post. No? He said, oh, he's gone again. Seems to be 9 people in here, but is anybody in chat? Can you hear me? Let me know. If not, I'll just go and do something else. I can't figure out who's in here and who's not now. Just put a message in Telegram, see if anybody's there. Doesn't seem anybody's come back, so I don't even know if I'm on air. It looks like I am, but no one's talking in the chat. So, oh, John said yes, but why is chat not working then? Okay. Okay, people can hear me. So if you can't, Telegram is working, obviously, but doesn't look like the chat's working in. We are typing in chat too. It's not coming up in chat. Look, that's chat. Nothing's happening. Chat is disabled for the live stream for some reason. Okay. Well, I can't talk to you in chat, so if you want to talk, you'll have to talk in Telegram, which is awkward because I'm going to have to keep going like that. Anyway, I'd pretty much finished what I was going to say anyway. So it's really weird not having chat up there. Let's have a look in there one sec. Can I pop? There's no point in talking. So basically, US dollar yen, looking for that move down, as I said. If we get back down into profit on it, I'm going to get out, basically. Just because the move hasn't happened. So the idea of this move initially was that intervention would be pulled back on, and then we would get that start of that yen strength coming through. We didn't get it. We sat sideways for a week and went absolutely nowhere, and they've just tried to push up a little bit higher. So the move, basically, the initial trade idea is now invalid. So I just basically want to get out of the position. This could just sit and go into accumulation for weeks, basically. And we don't know what's going to happen. So we'll see what happens if we can get back down there. Any kind of US dollar weakness on the news this week, or any kind of run to the safe havens, which means that the yen gets a little bit more than the US, and we'll be off. The internet is in and out. You're talking about the stream. Stream seems okay. Oh, dropped frames detected 26% over the last 2 minutes. Celebrate Star Wars by entering and win the official Logitech G Gaming Gear Collection. Okay, well, I might just call this a day today then. If the stream's not working, there's no point in sitting here going intermittent, is there? So, so if you can hear me, I'm still long on the DAX. This propulsion gap is holding at the moment, but the sellers are plowing into yesterday's high. So looking for a break of that high. If we get that high broken, we're off on the DAX. If we don't, I suspect we're going to come down and retest yesterday's low. So play today will be either this trade works out, we hit target, break even and do the run, or it basically will hedge and I will look to exit the hedge at roughly 3.5R at yesterday's low and try and get out of that drop, basically. So we'll see where we go. Oh, it's working fine now, is it? Okay. Someone on Telegram telling me he's looking at the last stream's chat, not this one. No, I wasn't. I'm looking at I was looking at the right chat, but it's just not there. Look. So this is the stream. Yeah. This is the chat for the stream. There's nothing in it. But this is the chat for the stream on YouTube. So there's some weird connection issue with YouTube as well. It's decided it didn't want to show me the right chat. It's technology. Nothing ever works. Don't forget, AI is taking over. It's going to be Terminator within the next decade. We're all going to be dead. We'll be skulls on the floor and we'll be crushed by Terminator feet. That's basically what's happening. So this is just the first step. What they do is they take over the chat systems in streams, tell the world to do something, which we all then do, which starts a massive world war, and then the machines take over. I've seen it. There's a documentary about it called Terminator. I've watched it. I'm quite sure how they managed. It's all about time travel, isn't it? So that's basically how they did the documentary. They time traveled to do the documentary about time travel. Okay. So I'm just waiting for this to break out. I'm just filling. Come on, DAX. Off we go. So yeah, I've covered everything on FX at the moment. So pound US at the minute is pulling back today. I've just got the only thing in drawdown that is any concern, which has been a concern now for nearly 3 months, is the pound US dollar. So I'm just basically waiting for that thing to just put, all I want is 1.5 ADR. That's all I'm asking, 1.5 ADR at the pound US dollar. So any kind of negative news or negative news for the US and positive news for the pound. And I'll be out of that and be done. Apart from that, yeah, just banking at the minute. Everything else is sitting, waiting for something to happen. So I won't be banking anything else today, I don't think, unless we get any decent moves. CAD Swiss is the only thing that's close to getting something banked. I say it's not really close, is it? It's 175 ADR. But the Swiss franc unraveling, I think, is the only thing we've potentially got on the cards today. That comment of mine was from the last stream. Yeah, I know. It's just there's something wrong with the chat system, isn't there? So today, obviously, the main news we've got today, which I didn't even get round to, was the Canadian dollar. So this is 1:30 this afternoon, and then we've got the retail sales at the same time for the US. So this is going to be the main market moving event today. We've obviously had the CPI overnight for the New Zealand dollar. The Canadian CPI forecast for the year on year is a decrease. So if that comes out at the 4.7, it could well have a negative impact on the Canadian dollar. However, if it comes out at the 4.7, it could also have a positive impact because it's not really moving. Yeah, so a 4.8 down to a 4.7 year on year is basically stable. Nothing's happened. If you look at the month on month, they're forecasting a drop. So the main thing that's going to move the market today will be that. If this one comes out higher than expected, that means that the next year's CPI forecast will be higher than expected, which will mean interest rates need to go up again. Yeah. Similar sort of thing that's happening in the States at the moment. So I think there's more chance potentially of there being a bullish move on the CAD this afternoon than a bearish move, but we will see. They're forecasting a 0.3% drop. If that comes out at 0.2 or higher, we will get a rally. So we'll see what happens. But that's 1:30 this afternoon. All being well, I'll be back on at 2:20 this afternoon for the US session. But that will come out at 1:30. So I'll be watching the CAD there. My current exposure for the Canadian dollar is mixed. So I've got more shorts than longs on at the moment. Same with the US. So ideally, I'd like the CPI figure to come out worse than expected. That would be perfect for me. But we will see. So Aussie dollar CAD, I've got long. CAD Swiss, I've got long as well. So the CAD Swiss basically is the one that would go into drawdown. Everything else, pound CAD and New Zealand dollar CAD and Aussie dollar CAD, they will all have a potential to sort of get to targets today. So we'll see what happens with that this afternoon. Retail sales for the US dollar. So want those down as well. So ideally, I want negative news CAD, negative news US across the board, basically, would be perfect. Overnight news, we need to worry about Bullock, but don't really need to worry about that particularly. Don't forget, overnight, we've had the monetary policy meeting minutes. So anything said there is basically just going to be a reflection of what was said there. There wasn't much said there. So therefore, I'm not expecting much movement overnight from the Aussie. And then going in tomorrow, we've got the CPI for the pound. So it's CPI all week, basically. So keep your eyes peeled on those. Breakouts happened on the DAX. We're off. Well, say we're off. We've broken out. But we are breaking out, don't forget, straight into potential resistance. So might be a bit of a struggle, but hopefully we'll get that 2R there and then see if I can get a runner, basically. Because upside-wise, there's little really until we get to there now. So 4R, if we break this level, you're going straight into this accumulation in which, you know, we might find a bit of chop. But really the next major resistance is kind of 4R level. So there's good upside potential today if we can get there. Struggling at the minute, though, to make progress. So we'll see. That's all I've got for you really today. So sorry about the stream. Not my fault. Virgin. I'll have a look in a minute and see if Virgin's got any news. But it's happened yesterday, didn't it, as well? It's a little bit weird. This always tends to happen. You get when something's starting to go wrong, you get these little blips, and the blips always come roughly at the same time every day. So doesn't bode well, does it? But anyway, we'll see. DAX looks like it's starting to try a little run. So this is basically this little push that we're seeing is basically all these sellers that try to drive short as soon as their positions are invalidated, exiting and flipping back long the other way, adding more pressure for the buyers. So we'll see if we can get to that level there. Be nice. That'll be me done for the morning then. The Matrix doesn't like you anymore. No, I know. The Matrix has us all. Nearly. Let's just see. We'll just hang around for 5 minutes and just see if I can get that target hit. About to start my first ever challenge. I'm terrified. Don't be terrified. Just do what you normally do. Challenges are no different to anything else. You have no control over it. So if you're going to do your first prop challenge, you will either pass or fail depending on what the market does when you take that challenge. Just keep your risk fairly small. Or go in super hard. There's many ways to pass a prop evaluation. It depends on the firm. If you're going with a firm that's got an aggressive policy in the fact that you can pass in a day, there's no minimum time restraints, you could literally go in with two E8, yeah. So E8, perfect. So you can go in basically with 1% risk per entry or 2% risk per entry. So if you're using the stock index hedge, for example, 1% risk per trade, which gives you 2% on the long, 2% on the short. That target there is 50% of your target. Yeah, so if you hit 2R, that's 50% of your target. You can close it out there. If this decides today to go into a trend, and we just get a lovely hit there, do something like that, that's it. You're done. You're passed. That's with the 2% risk. Or you could be cautious and go with 0.5% risk and play the long game. There's no right or wrong. You don't know when the market is going to go in your direction. You don't know when it's going to give you decent trades. You just got to start and trade it as normal. The best way I've found to pass evaluations, I haven't done one for ages because since my Forex funds ran away with my money, I've just basically, I'm not interested in prop at the moment until we get some conclusion as to what the hell's going on with the industry. But the best way to do a prop is to not think about the money, think about the process. Just concentrate on trading this. But I've been all in E8. I did it on stream. I did it live on stream. I passed E8 in the morning on the DAX, and I passed E8 in the afternoon on the NASDAQ. And then that evening I was funded. So I did 8% in the DAX in the morning, 8% on the NASDAQ in the afternoon. That was it. But both trades were like 2 or 3 hours. So I basically went in on a break, exactly the same as this on the opening range, using the opening range breakout EA at the time. Went long, hit target 2 or 3 hours later. Afternoon, started evaluation on the NASDAQ. Went short on the NASDAQ in the afternoon. Got a trend today, basically. So it trended up on the DAX in the morning. It trended down on the NASDAQ in the afternoon. I was funded with 100 grand by the end of that day. Totally, totally doable. Not sustainable. However, tomorrow, if it does the same thing, you've just made 8 grand. Stop. Wait. Withdraw that money. That's where everyone goes wrong. They don't take the money out. They basically go, I've just made 8 grand. If I can do 8 grand a day, I can pay the mortgage off. Then they get a losing day. And then they're like, crap, I've just lost 4 grand. Then they get a losing day and they go, I'm back to square one. Then they over leverage. Then they blow the account. Then they go back to stage one. That's what happens. People forget the purpose of trading is to make money. If you have a run which makes you 4 to 8 grand, stop, take the money out, pay the bills. I don't know why people don't do it. They get greedy. Well, I do. They get greedy. For me, one good day on prop pays the mortgage. That's all you need. One good day on prop. I don't know when I'm going to get the good days. So you just trade until you get the good days. When you get the good days, you pay the bills. And then everything you earn over the top of that is bunts, isn't it? It's just spending money. But you've got to wait to get paid. And that's the thing that kills people, is waiting 2 weeks to get your money out. If you're trading 100 grand account, there's no one in their right mind with 100 grand account is going to be risking like, 3 or 4% a trade. That's not what happens. Yeah, you normally risk small amounts, but it's not your money. So people don't care, which is quite right. What you're doing is you're being paid by people that have failing evaluations. So you don't care about them. Doesn't matter, does it? Your goal is to try and achieve a target that you can withdraw money on. There's nothing else in it. So it is gambling. It's basically, you could just do the same thing, go to a horse race. Yeah. Well, it's actually, the odds are obviously a lot worse at horse racing, but tennis match. Yeah. It's a 50-50 chance of a tennis match, isn't it? If you go onto a tennis match with 100 grand and you put 10 grand down on one tennis player, the odds are 2 to 1 or 3 to 1 or whatever the odds are. You're going to get that amount back. With this, it's a little bit different, isn't it? Yeah. If we put 2 or 3 grand on the market here, this thing could either pay us 2 to 1 or it could pay us 10 to 1. Which is why it's easier to make money trading than it is to gamble on tennis matches and football matches. But at the end of the day, gambling is all about continually trying to make money. This is about trying to get a decent trade. If that very first trade you make is a decent trade, stop. Yeah. If you went long on gold on Friday, yeah, and then in the morning you went long on gold, you went out for a meal with the family, then took the dog for a walk, then came back and opened your chart up, you'd made 50 grand because it moved 300 ADR to the upside. The only reason you did that is because you didn't watch what's going on. You placed the trade, you walked away, and you let it go. Exactly the same as this. If you place this trade, when this hits 2 to 1 in a minute, which it will because I'm telling it to, I'm going to draw our little rocket underneath. Okay, and that's now going to hit 2R. It's going to get up to there. So when that hits that, and I move, and the EA moves this second position to break even, if I now shut this chart down and don't do anything, the chances of it hitting 5R are much higher than if I watch this, because I will close this out because I'm focusing on the cash. If you just let the system and the strategy play out, you will make more money. And that's exactly the same in prop. But people panic in prop because you're not used to putting that much money on the table, are you? So it's all alien. It takes a long time to adjust to a 50K account or a 100K account when you've been trading like $500, $1,000, $5,000. I skipped straight from 5,000 to 100K. I blew it immediately because I couldn't do it. Your mindset when you're watching those ticks move up in £50 increments, where you're used to watching them moving like 50 pence to £1 increments, is huge. Psychologically, it's a totally different ballgame. We've got an inside bar on the DAX forming. The buyers seem to be slightly running out of steam up here. See where we go on this next candle. Might be worth taking this off this morning. I'm doing two 25K accounts, one using SIH and one using market reversal alerts. At market reversal alerts, you'll find very difficult to pass prop. It's position trade. Well, it's not. It's designed for position trading. You can obviously trade it with a stop loss. So it's got as much chance of working on the first trade as it has of not working on the first trade, isn't it? So come back to that in a minute. Starting to run out of steam a little bit. If you look through my trades, yeah, all this is all with the market reversal alerts EA. Yeah, so that would have been a stop out. Yeah, so if you're using a stop loss strategy with the market reversal alerts EA, that's a stop out. 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 That's not. That's not. But they're all stop outs, aren't they? Yeah. Position trading, it's all absolutely fine. That's why we do it. But the problem with prop is you've got a 5% daily drawdown limit. So right now, where I'm sitting right now, that account is blown. That valuation is failed because I'm on 6.6% drawdown. The 10% maximum is fine. But daily, you've got a 5% limit. So your maximum actually is 5%. If you hit 5% drawdown in a day, you are failed. So position trading is very hard. You can do it, and I have done it. I have passed an evaluation with prop. Not both. I passed stage 1. I didn't get past stage 2 because stage 2, I just blew it. Just blew it. I hit target. I think I did it on stream as well, and that was with E8. So the target I'd hit, I'd done the 8%, but I was sitting in, I can't remember, it's 2 or 3% of drawdown. And I was like, if I can get this up to 11%, I can shut that and be done. And it just didn't get there. It just crept up to 5%, stopped me out, and then it all reversed, obviously, because it always does. But so it's very hard with market reversal alerts EA and position trading, because position trading is a long-term strategy. And long-term, you're going to take drawdown. So you'll find it difficult. Scalping or intraday swings. So the other main way I trade on prop, or traded on prop, was support resistance. So what you could do is do support resistance trading with market reversal alerts EA. So for example, here, CAD Swiss, perfect example. So this resistance that we identified here, this is a 4-hourly. Yeah. So when you get to here and you're approaching a decent level of resistance, stick the market reverse alerts on the hourly chart and say go short only and use a 1 ADR stop loss. Or I used to use a half ADR. I still do use a half ADR stop loss. That way, if that bounce works, when you get that reversal alert, you're getting in on the hourly chart with a half ADR stop, which is above that resistance. So if that resistance bounce, as it did in this case, is going to work, use the market reversal alerts in that way, but trade the hourly time frame and don't position trade it. Use a stop loss. Support resistance bounces with the market reversal alerts indicator are brilliant. You'd have had an alert in there. You'd have had an alert in there. You would also had an alert in there, which would have stopped out. But those two would have been 3 Rs. That's a 1 R loss. Process. Just all about the process. You just got to forget about the money and do the process. Come on, DAX. Can't bother to watch it. I'm putting a trailer on that one. Either I'm going to take that or I'm going to hit target, one or the other. I can't be bothered to watch it. It's 15 minutes now. We've been going sideways. We're stalling out and slowing down here. So either this is going to stall out and we're not going to get anywhere and we're just going to flip-flop around here. Don't forget, we've got the CPI and the retail for the US this afternoon. So they may just be very small trades going on in the stock indices at the moment in general. There's not a lot of volume anywhere today. I mean, basically, I'm just going to either take that or I'll take that, and then we'll see if we get a run, if it does actually hit target. But I can't really be bothered to sit here and talk, waiting for this thing to happen, because I might be sitting here for another hour. It's not going anywhere, is it, at the minute? Stuck. With E8, there's no maximum days. So if I'm using a third of the risk, I would usually use 0.25. It would take forever to pass, but feel like it would be difficult to hit 5% drawdown. It won't be difficult to hit 5% drawdown. I'm using 5%. I'm using, this is using 0.1% risk per trade. I'm sitting on 6.5% drawdown. Although saying that, this is including a trade which has been on for 2.5 months, which is making 3.6% of that. So if you take that off of my actual drawdown at the moment, I'm sitting in 2.8% with 13% banked this month. So yeah, it's okay, isn't it? But that is a trade. That pound US dollar I have been holding for 2.5 months. So I am still in that trade. So you can't really take it out of the equation. Like I say, you will or you won't pass, depending on what the market does. If you have a lovely either rangy market for the next month, or you have a nice trend market with good market structure, you'll pass the evaluation. If you have two squeezes, you won't. So this is what I keep saying about prop. Whether you pass prop or not has nothing to do with your strategy. It's got nothing to do with how you trade. It's got nothing to do with anything but what the market does the day you start that evaluation. If you start that evaluation today with the stock index hedge EA and this DAX hits that and hits that, you pass. If this DAX does that and that today, you lose 2% of your account. Yeah. Whether or not you pass evaluation or lose 2% of your account this session has nothing to do with anything but what the DAX does next. The strategy is a strategy. It's got a lot of long-term edge. It plays out beautifully. It makes 15 grand, 20 grand a week, some weeks, other weeks it doesn't. It's got nothing to do with the strategy. It's got to do with what the market does. Yeah. Same with position trading. If every single position trade you take from now until middle of November is either 1, 2, 3, or 4 positions, and market structure is beautiful, you will pass the evaluation. If 2 of them are squeezes that last 2 months, you will fail. I can't see into the future, and neither can you. So the whole premise of you passing or failing is based on whether or not that market goes back them up, and Iran backs them up rather, and then the US is forced to fight Iran. World War III kicks in. You will fail your evaluation. Yeah, anything can happen. If the CPI figure goes up instead of down this afternoon, you could fail your evaluation or pass your evaluation. Everything is totally out of your control. And as soon as you understand that, you understand why prop is so difficult to do, because they know for a fact there isn't a trader on this planet that isn't going to make a 5% drawdown at some point on their account or a 10% loss on their account. I do it regularly. I did a 15% loss last month, which I pulled back to 8. Yeah, this month I'm sitting on 14% profit. It doesn't work that way. There isn't a system or strategy that just works all the time. And this is where they get you. You've got to pass an evaluation stage 1. You've got to pass an evaluation stage 2. You've got to pass a funded period of time. These 3 things happening in a row are pretty damn difficult to do. And if you manage to do them, what's the chances of you holding on for another period of time, your strategy, without it having a bad run? It's not going to happen. There's no system or strategy out there that doesn't have a bad run. If you've got a strategy with a 70% strike rate, 30% of those trades are going to fail. All 30% of those can happen in a row. Can do it. Go and toss a coin 100 times. Do it 100 times. Yeah. So toss a coin 100 times, 100 times, i.e. toss it however many that is. Right. Note it down. You can get simulations to do this for you. You will have runs where you get heads 15, 20 times in a row. You'll get tails 15, 20 times in a row. The odds are 50-50, but you can get 50% of that 50% in a row. If that's losing trades with 0.5% risk, you've blown your account. They know this. Everybody knows this because we've all been through it. We've all done it. Yet we seem to believe that it's not going to happen to us when we take an evaluation. It does. All the time. There we go. So DAX is now making me profit. It couldn't have. It could have gone the other way. I have no control over whether that candle goes up or down. Therefore, who is in charge of what I make today? Market. No one else. My strategy's got nothing to do with it. Prop firms, most prop firms now do not have time limits. No. They've removed them because that was one of the killers. That was what was causing people to try and over leverage on their account. So I think they'll make less money now because they've removed these time limits, especially the upper time limits. The lower time limits, that still forces people to go nuts. You know, like if I've gone in with 1% risk here. If I'd have gone in with 2% risk here, I'm sitting on 4 grand. Yeah, that's half my evaluation done in the session. If we have a decent session, this is what I mean. If we have a decent session this afternoon on the NASDAQ, I've passed. It's just this flip of a coin. It really is. See, look, now I'm going to get stopped out on it. Looked like it was going somewhere, didn't it? Now it's decided it's not. It literally isn't going anywhere. If you look at the price action here, right, in the last 25 minutes, we've done that. That's it. We're not going anywhere, are we? We haven't moved in the last 25 minutes. We've managed to push up to there and back down again. So this is either now going to accumulate and drop, or it's going to accumulate and break. I have no idea which it's going to do, and neither does anybody else on the planet. So you just place your orders and you hope it goes one way you want it to. In my case, if it comes down, I don't care either. It's a big game changer for me. It's more of a I'm more rational on my decisions. Yeah. You've got time. But the problem I think with prop is the whole concept of prop is a shortcut. If you are a stopped out on first position, second position break even. So if you are a patient trader and you have a amount of money, you can turn that amount of money into more money yourself. You don't need prop. Prop is a shortcut to, I can't be asked to turn this 10 grand into 50. I'm just going to go and buy 50. Yeah. So your mentality when you go into prop is shortcut. And as soon as you get into, I've now got 50, although it's only an evaluation, I've got 50, I can now use high risk. And immediately, as soon as you're starting, you're on the wrong foot, because the mentality of taking a prop evaluation is, I can't be asked to wait to do this myself properly. Therefore, I'm going to see if I can find a shortcut. That ends up blowing account after account after account after account, because the system you thought was going to work has a losing run and fails. So you system hop onto something else that you've never tested before, but you do it on prop because now you've had prop, you want prop, and end up system hopping. But instead of system hopping on demo accounts, you're now system hopping on prop accounts. Prop accounts cost you $300 to $500 a go. Demo accounts are free. So the mentality has shifted from, I'm going to see if I can become a professional trader by using a demo account and maybe a small amount of my own money, to I'm just going to pay prop $300 million for a demo account. There's still less than 0.5% of people get paid through prop. Those are the statistics which are published. Yeah, think about it. The statistics are, which I don't believe are true, 95% of people fail at trading. If that's true, why are 99.5% of people failing at prop? Not an easy job. So, the odds are massively stacked against you. But you will pass challenges and you will pass stage twos and you will get funded if you keep going at it. But holding that funded account is very, very, very difficult, which is why, and this is the approach that I took to prop, was don't take one evaluation, take 10 evaluations. Because the law of averages, if you trade exactly the same strategy on 10 different accounts, means that if you start them on different days using different settings, some of them, by sheer flip of a coin, are going to pass. If you take 10 evaluations and 5 of them get through to stage 2, those 5, 2 of them get through to funded, just by logic, 50-50, one of those funded accounts will get to a point where you will be able to withdraw money. If you spend $3,000 doing that and you can make 5 to 10K out of the one that gets through, that's assuming one gets through. If 2 get through, big game changer, like mortgage paid for the year type game changer. Yeah. That's all you need to do. That's the prop model that I used. And that was the prop model that worked for me. But it's not a case of take one evaluation, because if I take one evaluation and it takes me 3 to 5 days to pass that evaluation, then I take stage 2, which takes me 3 to 5 days to pass that. I'm now 10 days. That's 2 weeks. And I haven't been paid yet. So I get my funded account. And now I'm like, right, I've got to be careful with this. So it takes me 5 to 10 days to get to a point where I can get paid. That's now 1 month. If I'm lucky and I've got one account through to funded, and don't forget, 95% of people fail stage 1. And out of those, there's 70% or something past stage 2. I can't remember what the figures exactly were. But the chances of you failing that are incredibly high. The chances of you failing that are incredibly high. If you do manage to get one of those over, it's going to take you a minimum of a month. How are you paying your mortgage? You're not. You take 10 accounts, yeah, every single week, one of them will be funded. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. Get them over the line. If you want to make 5 to 10K a month trading, you need to be doing at least 10 prop account evaluations each month, because you're not going to get them over the line in time otherwise, which means you can't get paid. That's the prop model that they don't want you to do, because that's the one that works. Because they know that what will creep in is if you do one evaluation, get it to stage 2, and then get it to funded, and then fail funded, the first thing you're going to do is go straight back to there frustrated. What do you do when you're frustrated? Make mistakes. What are you going to do with that? Blow it. Then you're going to go, right, I'm going to do another one. You're now $1,500 down. And you are back to stage 1 on your 3rd evaluation. probably 3 to 4 weeks in without being paid. That's the reality of prop. There's probably a lot of people in there going, yeah, been there. Because that's what happens, isn't it? Because things like this happen. Yeah. If I hadn't put that trailing stop on there now, I wouldn't have $700 in there. I would be coming down potentially to get hedged on this position, to be sitting there at New York, closing this out at $1,900 loss. That's frustrating. That's what they prey on. They prey on you not being able to control your emotions, which is why we position trade, because position trade doesn't have emotions, does it? Because we don't have emotions about a tiny little trade going against us for 3 weeks. It doesn't make any difference in the grand scheme of things. That's the whole point of it. I take challenges to get the real market pressure and feeling while I'm learning. You're not, though, are you? You're trading a demo account. That's the point. You're trading a demo account. There's no difference between a proper valuation account and a demo account. It's the same thing. It's not real money. Yeah. Go and draw 10. If you're paying, I'm not having a go here. I'm just saying, I've been where you are. Don't say I can afford a 300K challenge, right? 300K challenge is going to cost you what? $500, $800, something like that. Yeah. Don't do that. Right. Go and get $2,000 of your money, stick it in a real account, right? And trade it with a 2% risk. That's trading. That's pressure. That's hitting that button and panicking as soon as you've hit the button and you've seen a candle go against you. On a proper valuation, you've spent $500 or whatever it is to get a demo account. And if you press that button and it goes down, you go, oh, screw it, I'll press it again because it might go up. And I don't really care because it's not real money. It isn't real money. Put 2,000 of your own into an account. It is real money. Your decision-making process will flip on a coin. Totally, totally different. First time I stepped up to trading a 30K account of real money, my own money, my mentality was so cautious. It was like, I was watching it like a hawk. You will watch it like a hawk because it's your money, yeah? It's the mortgage going up and down. It's the car payment. It's the kids' college fees going up and down on that P&L. That P&L that you're watching, this is, can I eat this month? Can I pay the bills this month? Yeah. Proper valuation. If you take a 1 million proper valuation, it's not real. All you've done is you've spent £1,000 on a demo account. Your psychology is not the same as if that is your hard cash in your broker. Your order execution will also be very, very different. Go and trade a demo account in prop and then go and trade a live account. Yeah, you see me in here trading the SIH strategy with this EA and the opening range breakout strategy on a real live account. My order execution is nothing like a proper valuation. Proper valuation, as soon as that opening candle goes, it's like bang, bang, orders in. There you go. Everybody okay? Yeah, no slippage. Don't worry about that. On this account, it sits there and it goes order execution. Okay, let's farm that one out to the dark pools. We don't need it. Come back. There we go. Oh, sorry, the candle's gone. That's real. Prop's not. Demo, totally different order execution. All of this stuff makes a massive, massive difference to your trading psychology and also what actually you get executed in the market, especially if you're scalping 5 minute at the open, because this is the most volatile candle. This candlestick here is the most volatile candlestick on any market you will ever see. That 5 minute candlestick is the most volatile thing that happens every single day. And you are trying to get an order executed like that at the most volatile, highly spiking candle going. Demo accounts will just execute it because it's not real. Don't get that delayed reaction. You don't have things like happened to me yesterday morning. What happened to me yesterday morning? Live on stream, 2 minutes before the open, the internet froze. Yeah, I missed yesterday $2,000. Right? I missed my mortgage payment yesterday because my internet connection went down. Prop is irrelevant when it comes to things like that. I had to go in manually and do all of this yesterday because my internet went down. When it came back up, I had to go back in and manually trade. I had to take over. Yeah. That sort of stuff, you're just not going to experience it with any demo account. And a demo account is a prop account. Even when you get to a funded account, it's not a real account. They don't copy your trades onto a live account. There's no segregated funds. It's all just play. And it's all, as we know now from my Forex funds, manipulated by one man behind the scenes. And so are most of the other prop firms. There's somebody at the moment saying, oh, the problem with EA, it doesn't work in true Forex funds. No. Do you know why? Because the bloke that owns true Forex funds owns the brokerage that you trade on. What do you think he's doing with the price? Manipulating it. Why is there data inconsistencies coming through? Because he's a bloody idiot and he doesn't know how to do it properly. Because all he's after is your money. Just be very careful with it. That's all I'm trying to say in a very long-winded way. My 3 kids already gone. That's great. You still got to pay your mortgage and you feed yourself, though, and go on holiday and all that sort of stuff. You got to live. Stopping out break even in second position. So it's just $700 this morning. There we go. So break even on second. So that was the right call this morning. Protecting that. And again, you know, this is the sort of stuff that comes with experience, identifying exhaustion and things. You're not, you know, you're jumping into prop using an EA. I get constantly like, what's the best settings for prop? 10 years experience watching a chart go up and down. There isn't a best setting. That's the best setting. Identifying that I've seen this 1,000 times and I thought that might happen. Can't do that with an EA. EAs can't identify this. They can identify where there's no movement, but they just can't see where it's happening, why it's happening, what's been going on, don't know about world events, all that sort of stuff. You know, it's just, there is no shortcut in this job. This job is akin to a fighter pilot and a brain surgeon. You need a lot of time and experience to do it. You can't just stick an EA on a chart and go into a prop firm, buy 100 grand evaluation for $500 and suddenly become a millionaire and own a Lamborghini. Not gonna happen. Yeah, if it was that easy, we'd all be earning Lamborghinis and being millionaires, wouldn't we? We're not, because it's not the real world. So I don't want to burst any bubbles, but you're better off knowing the truth, aren't you, before you start sticking thousands and thousands into something that isn't going to help your education. Much better thing to do is get 5 grand, stick it in a trading account and trade your own capital. Then you know how difficult this job is, because when you press that button and $200 disappears out of your account, you're like, there goes the electricity bill. Real world. Totally different place. DAX, now walk away. That's the important part for me. Revenge trading. Yeah, DAX is done. I'm done on the DAX. That's it. That's the whole point. I'm done. Made $700. That's it. I'm done today. Well, I'm done on the DAX. I'll be back this afternoon, obviously, but DAX is done. If you make a loss on the DAX this morning, set yourself a limit. That's the opening range. The opening range breakout EA has these settings in here for a reason. Yeah. Close everything and stop at this loss. Yeah. Whatever that is, you set that to, that is it. You set yourself a loss limit and walk away. If you have a system or a strategy that has anything remotely like a mechanical rule set to it, so it's a breakout strategy, it's a trend strategy, it's a mean reversion strategy, whatever the strategy is, it doesn't matter. There will be a set of market conditions that strategy does not perform well on. If you start trading any strategy and you get a loss, followed by a perfect entry by your rules and a loss, followed by a perfect entry by your rules and a loss, this strategy is not working today, now, in this market condition. Stop trading this strategy now. Come back at a later stage, because right now the conditions are wrong. This is what people don't identify. You set yourself a loss limit of 3 trades or $1,500 or whatever it is. You stop trading it and go, this isn't working this morning. I'll come back this afternoon. You'll come back this afternoon. You'll have a win followed by a win. And all of that loss will be totally eradicated. You'll make $2,200 and you go, that was a crap day. I only made $700. The only reason you had a crap day and only made $700 is because you identified that it wasn't working this morning. That's the bit that people can't do. This is why the opening range breakout EA has a loss limit. Stop trading. Got to stop. Yeah, this is a breakout strategy, this particular one that we're trading here. If the market doesn't break out, it ain't going to work. Yeah, this is why no one can get a setting from me that works, because I don't know whether there's going to be a breakout in the DAX, the DOW, the NASDAQ, or the S&P today. I haven't got a clue. You're asking me to see the future? I can't do it. It will either have a breakout and it will work, or it won't and it will fail. I don't know what's going to happen. What I do know is there's a long-term edge in the strategy which will execute over a period of time. I can't tell you this afternoon whether it's going to be working or not, and neither can a prop firm. Just doesn't know, does it? This is now getting rebought back out of this propulsion gap. Is market structure going to be that, or are we reversing and putting in a bearish market structure? I don't know. One of those two things is going to happen. I can guarantee we're going to go low, high, low, high, or we're going to go high, low, lower, high, lower, low. One of those two things is going to happen. There isn't an EA on the planet that can predict that, but there are EAs that could maybe execute that strategy for you. Whether it works or not, no one can tell you, because the market's going to decide whether it works or not, because the market decides whether or not the price goes up and down. Sink it in. You've got no control. It's a complete fluke. Everything's a fluke. You just need a fluke that's got a positive risk-reward ratio if you're using a stop loss. And you need enough flukes in a row to make you money. How scalable do you think retail Forex is? How do you mean scalable? What do you mean by scalable? Don't understand what you mean. Retail Forex is retail Forex. This is retail Forex. I am retail Forex. I'm not professional. How big do you think retail accounts get? As big as you want. How much money have you got? If I won the lottery tomorrow, if I won the Euro Millions tomorrow and won 12 million, I'll probably have 6 million in my account. No limit. Your brokers don't put a limit on how much money you can place in their segregated accounts. You can place it whatever you want in retail Forex. Retail Forex is retail Forex. All it is you're either professional in trading. You are either a professional, licensed, or you're not. I'm not. I could become a professional licensed, but the money needed to do it is cost prohibitive. And you only need to be professional if you want to actually trade on others' behalves and do all that sort of stuff, which is not interesting to me. Are there really retail traders with 10 million in their accounts? I've no idea. I've never met any. I don't know any traders that have got more than 150, 200K. You don't need any more than that. Think about it, right? If you have, this is a job, right? And this is how you need to think of it. It's a job and it's a business. If you had 3 million, right? The easiest way to make money with 3 million is to go and buy a portfolio of 10 properties, rent them out, sit there and do absolutely nothing, and let that rent income run your life. That's the easiest thing to do. Go out there and buy 10 properties at 300 grand each, rent them out for $1,500 to $2,000 or pounds a month, and sit there and just go, I don't need to work. Why would you do this? Yeah, answer the question. I wouldn't. God, no way. Right? What I need to do is earn somewhere between 10 to 15 grand a month to live comfortably. Right? If I had more money, I could probably earn 15 to 20 grand and live more comfortably. So the answer to the question is, are there people out there that want to buy a new Lamborghini every month? If so, they probably may be trading a 10 million account. If they are, though, in my opinion, they're stupid, because I could invest that 10 million and never have to work again in my life. That's what I would do. So what you need to run your business is an amount of money. This is a business. I have costs, I have profits, right? Costs are costs of doing business, brokerage fees, yeah, swaps, commissions, spreads. Losses are costs. Profits are trades that work out and generate alpha, which is positive income, positive growth on the account. I then withdraw that. So what I need is an amount of money that I can use to draw into to create that profit. The size of the amount of money adds pressure, right? If you run a small business, I used to run a web design business, right? At one point, I employed 4 people at one point. When I employed those 4 people, okay, my income went up by about 10% because my expenses went up by 40%. And to actually pay all these people and generate profit, I had to do 2 to 3 times more revenue just to make a little bit of extra cash. What happened was my headache got 4 times bigger when someone phoned up and went, I can't come in today. Okay, no problem. Temp agency, have you got anybody? Yeah, I've got someone, but they're not qualified. Okay, they come in, they haven't got a clue. I spend 3 days training them what to do. Then the other person comes back and I've just wasted 800 quid. Right? If you're a trader and you're trading with a 50K account, increasing that to a 500K account increases your headache, your pressure, your stress. Yes, it will probably increase your income, but do you need all of that? Yeah. I have no interest in earning £1 million a year because the taxman's going to take 600 grand of it off me, or 400, 500 grand or something off of it anyway. So to actually earn more money, you need to double or treble the amount that you actually earn, because all the tax is disappearing. It all gets given back in tax, doesn't it? More money, more problems. Yeah. So yeah, you could trade with whatever you want. If you're worried about having it in a broker account, put 20 grand there, 20 grand there, 20 grand there, 20 grand there. Yeah, if you've got 100 grand, stick it across 4 different or 5 different brokers. Trade one on the DAX, one on the NASDAQ, one on the S&P, one on the DOW, one on the FTSE, if you're going to use the stock index hedge or the opening range breakout strategy. Yeah, segregate the money. Then it's all protected in those different areas, isn't it? Yeah. But if you've got 100 grand to trade, you don't need to put it all in the account, do you? You've got to have it there in case you need it. But if you have a good run and you make 20 grand by putting a 10 grand deposit in and trading it as if it's a 100K account, you can very easily make that money. You're going to draw it out all the time, aren't you? You're constantly drawing money out and paying tax on it. Yeah, this is the thing. It's a business like any other business. So I'm a one-man band. Yeah, I am me. Yeah, if I go blind tomorrow, I'm out of business. Yeah, so you want to make money as fast as you can, but you also have to run it like a business. Yeah, it's not. If someone gave me $1 million to trade with right now, nothing would change because the percentage revenue, percentage drawdown and the percentage returns will still be the same. And this is why I teach in the bootcamp, you trade on percentages. Yeah. Yeah. If you make 15%, you make 15%. If you make 15% on $1,000 account, you make 150 quid. If you make 15% on 100 grand account, you make 15 grand. But you make 15%. You focus on the percentage return. If you focus on the percentage return, you could trade with a $10 billion account. If you return 15% on that, you're returning a larger number, which I'm not going to calculate because I can't do it in my head. But that is it, isn't it? It's a percentage return on account. If you've got a big sum of money, you will make a lot of money. But the bigger the sum of money, usually the lower the risk, which is why you see everybody like Warren Buffett returning 8 to 12% a year, because they only want to risk enough to make themselves $1 billion or 100 million or 250 million. You don't need to use it all. You're better off having that earning interest and being invested in other places. This is the hardest way to make money. Yeah, flipping a coin and hoping a black candlestick goes down or a green candlestick goes up. This is not an easy thing to do, is it? As everybody knows, which is why everybody spends their entire life system hopping trying to find what works. Nothing works because everything is a flip of a coin. The only thing that works is risk management. Yeah. So you either reduce the risk and reduce your position sizing down so that the risk becomes irrelevant and wait, or you try and time the market and make sure you have a positive risk return. But trying to time the market is hard to do because it's a completely random thing. So the only way you can find an edge is by finding something that repeats itself over and over again with a high degree of probability, like the open. Yeah. If you're trying to go, I'm going to take bearish engulfings happen 1,000 times a day. What do you think the strike rate really is on a bearish engulfing? I can tell you because I've built EAs to test it. It's not very good at all. Same with a hammer and a shooting star. Yeah, people try and trade candlesticks. Oh, well, let's put it in line with the moving average. What's that got to do with anything? What has the last 50 candlesticks got to do? What's the average price of the last 50 candlesticks got to do with whether this goes up or down? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. This candlestick here will go up and down based on market pressure of buyers and sellers. Whether there's a moving average underneath it for the last 20 periods has got nothing to do with whether that goes up or down. The moving average, I can tell you right now on this one. Actually, I can't tell you on this one because it's probably quite tricky because it's in a range. But probably I would say on this, if you were looking at the 20 moving average, you probably just passed above the 20 moving average. So you should be buying it, right? No, it's coming down. I don't know whether it's going to go up in a minute because that line has got nothing to do with anything, does it? The only thing that works, and I have found historically works, is support and resistance. Because the market has a memory. When we get to levels that we've previously traded at, the market trades from them again. And the reason it does that is because this is where the banks and institutions placed their positions. Every blue block you see on the screen is a bank order. This is where the banks moved short. If the banks are still short, they will move short again. This is where the banks moved long. If we get down to there, the banks will move long again. Whether or not the price goes up or down has got nothing to do with the fact that those orders are there. It's got to do with the fact that the number of orders there and the number of orders that way. If the banks put 20 million in there and there's 25 million coming towards it, it will go down. That has nothing to do with a system, a strategy, a moving average, a line, or any kind of oscillator you could ever find on any charting platform. All driven by price. But price is random. So how can you develop a system or strategy to trade it? There lies the quandary, which is why this is something I liken to being a fighter pilot or a brain surgeon, because the only way you can figure out how to make money out of this market is to realize that there's no way of making money out of this market because it's random. And as soon as you accept that fact, you can start to look for strategies that actually have an edge over a long period of time. Because otherwise, you're never going to make it, because there's nothing on this planet that can tell you whether or not that candlestick there, shooting star, was going to be bearish or not. Everybody that took that shooting star, followed by that shooting star, thought that was going to be bearish too. They got stopped out on it because it wasn't. Why? Because it's totally random as to whether a shooting star painted on the chart means the price will go up or down next. Because nobody knows whether there's 25 million long or 25 million short orders coming after that shooting star. How can you develop a strategy around something that has got a 50% strike rate? You can't. Apart from risk reward. So if you take every shooting star and you go for a 2R with a 1R risk, that will work out. But you will, as long as you're happy and accept that you'll be stopped out 22 times in a row before the 75 winners come. The order of stop outs is going to be totally random. And 5 in a row, you'll be going, screw this, it doesn't work. It does. You just couldn't wait for the 10 winners that are coming. That's where we go wrong. It's all psychology. So you remove the stop loss, you remove the psychology, and all of a sudden, when you wait for that shooting star to play out and make you the profit, you win. The thing that stops you making money is you placing an order in the market, telling the market to take your money. And that's where the brokers win. That's why, to answer the question earlier, AZ, if I had 3 million, do you know what I'd do? Spend 250 grand of it getting my broker license, and I'd set up a brokerage. Because every time you press the button, I make money. I couldn't give a monkey's whether you make money or not. That's the broker's opinion. That's the broker's stance, and that's how they make their money. Every time I pressed the button this morning to make that money, the broker made money. Yeah, so he made money on commission, swap, and spread. We didn't make money on swap because I didn't hold it overnight, but he made money on commission and spread. That's the best job in trading, brokerage, which is why you'll find all these people, these gurus. What do they have in common? Greg Secker, training company, brokerage. Raja Banks, training company, brokerage. The guy at My Forex Funds, selling demo accounts, brokerage. The guy in that other firm that somebody's got a problem with EA not executing, owns a brokerage. Why do they own brokerages? Because every single penny that's transacted through this market, every single button press earns them money. That's what I would do. I would stop being one of these people and be one of those, because that's the easiest way to make money in the market. I can sit there and just wait for you lot to press buttons. Not you lot, but general people. All I got to do is advertise and get people to put money into my bank account. Good business. As Michael just said, yeah, Greg Secker. I simply have a target of $1,000, but at least $500. Yeah. But that's the real world. You know, this is why I'm not sitting here in front of a Lamborghini. Although I have got a Lamborghini, I can sit in front of. But this is not what happens. This is not the real world, yeah? Anyone can rent one of these, put it on the top of their Telegram channel or their YouTube channel, and tell you that they will teach you how to trade. Have they ever shown you the P&L that proved that that is what they bought with their money? No. There's one guy on YouTube I know for a fact is a trust fund baby. Yeah, he inherited over £20 million, right? And he set up a trading education company. Never traded in his life. He's not old enough. But people are buying this crap, yeah, because he's showing them a Lamborghini. Greg Secker's got a Rolls Royce, a wacky great house, multiple houses all over the place, helicopters, jets, and he lives a beautiful lifestyle. Has he ever shown you his P&L? No, he owns a brokerage. So there you go. If you've got 3 million or $1 million, 250 grand is what it costs to get your broker license. And what I would do is set up a brokerage, and then I'd set up a prop firm next to it, and make sure they were segregated, owned by different companies, because that's where my Forex funds went wrong. And I'd do exactly that. It's the easiest way to make money, isn't it? So there's 65 people in there now just going, oh, not coming back here again. But anyway, nothing's moving much apart from pound US dollar, which is moving the wrong way at the moment. So yeah, hopefully this is bullish market structure. Hopefully we're not just going to go and sit in a hideous range down here. I'm getting close to the point where I might have to shut some of this out again and take another bit of a loss, do some drawdown control. Invest, Cyril, exactly. There's a very good saying which has been around a long time: money makes money. And it is totally, totally true. Everybody, Aussie dollar, New Zealand, 150 of its weekly range. That thing's like a steam train. Look at it, 175 ADR. If basically everybody is trying to do something to make money, right? But if you've got money, you can't fail to make money. It's just that old adage, isn't it? Bill Gates, he could not spend the interest. So the money in his bank account earned more money in interest than he could spend if he bought 10 mansions and 100 private jets a day. He still couldn't spend the interest, which is why he set up the Gates Foundation, because that money's got to go somewhere, because he's accumulating so much of it and making so much of it so fast, you can't literally spend it. That's everybody's dream until you have it. Yeah. I know a lot of people that have got a lot of money and they're not happy. Not necessarily. I mean, they are happy. Obviously, they go off on beautiful holidays and they do lots of lovely things, drive nice cars, have no financial worries, but it doesn't make them happy. Doing stuff makes them happy. And the one thing that trading can do is free up your time. Yeah. I don't work for anybody. I can just turn this off now and go and walk the dog and go and have lunch or do whatever I want to do because I can. That's what it does. It buys you the time. So you either can be time rich or cash rich. Ideally, a bit of both. But investing, as Cyril's just said, best way to make money. And you can do that as well. Yeah, just buy the S&P. Every time the S&P comes down, it's very easy. Just buy it. Yeah. Every time you get a dip, you buy it. Because what does it do? It goes up all the time. Always, apart from this bear market caused by this ridiculous bull market when everyone is losing money. But every time it comes down, you buy it. So this is where you want to buy it. Yeah, it will go up to there. It will hit that top. It will bounce off that top. Then you buy it down there somewhere. That's an investment strategy used by Warren Buffett. That's the strategy that I run. I don't run it at the moment because I'm not convinced we're back in a bull market yet. If this flag breaks, then I think we probably are. But, that's the best way to make money. Buy something, hold it long-term and get a long-term return on your investment. Yeah. You had 100 grand, you could draw down into that by 50%. Pension funds, investment funds regularly draw down by 40% into their capital because they know that the return will be there long-term and they've got 12 months to return it. Yeah. Look at the S&P 500. When have you ever, on the S&P 500, bought any dip that ever lasted longer than a couple of months? Very, very, very rare. Look, buy the dip, up. Buy the dip, buy the dip. These are all months. That one lasted 2 months. That one lasted 2 months. Yeah. Yeah, so what if I draw down 50% into my account? Doesn't matter because it's going up. Because if businesses don't stop making money, the stock market goes down. What do businesses never stop doing? Making money. If they stop making money, the shareholders complain. If the shareholders complain, the board gets fired. If the board gets fired, they get replaced by somebody whose incentive is to do what? Make money. Why do stock returns always go up? And why will they always go up? Because this is manufactured to go up. It can't do anything but go up. Yeah? Even if it has a period where it goes down, it will go back up again. Because it has to, because the world has to turn. So if you want to do something, invest. Yeah. This is the worst thing we've ever had, COVID. Look at that. It's the biggest bull run we've ever experienced, ever, after the worst thing that's ever happened. Yeah. And it's caused this nutty chaos that we're sitting in and we have been sitting in for the last year and a half because of the greed of these people doing that. When all these businesses were making a loss, they were manufacturing profit. So it made their stock prices go up. Yeah. This is where all the board got fired. This is where they got rehired. And now we're going to go that way. Investment, best way to make money. But unless you've got a massive amount of money, you cannot use this strategy. Because if you have $1,000 and you buy the dip, by the time it gets up to there, you've made something like $1,500 to $2,000. Well done. You've doubled your money. That's one mortgage payment. Doesn't help you, does it? If you've got 100 grand or 200 grand, however, you could probably make an annual living out of that. But we don't, do we? Because we haven't got it. So what do? Turn to prop. Which brings me back to the beginning of the conversation. The way it works. Smoke and mirrors and difficulty. That's basically what this job entails. Anyway, on that note, now you're all completely distraught and hate this job and really don't want to do this anymore. Don't fret. There are products out there that do work. Well, there are strategies out there that do work, I should say. So yeah, I'll be back this afternoon. We'll trade these three guys and see where we go. Greg, this is very interesting. Is your surname Secker by any chance? Just checking. I know he's looking for new systems and strategies because apparently the ones he does don't work. So just be aware of this afternoon. Canadian dollar, it's all going to go nuts at 130. Retail sales and CAD CPI. If you've got US and CAD positions on, obviously be very, very careful. Tom, I shouldn't have mentioned prop. No, that's fine. No. I just like to tell people what the real thing is. You know, it's just not, I don't, I would much rather people didn't do prop. I'd much rather prop vanishes, to be honest. Honestly, because it's just a nightmare at the moment, prop. Just because of my Forex funds. You know, I was absolutely happy with my Forex funds. I was getting paid regularly from them. Now they owe me money because they went pop when I was waiting for a payout. And I'm just totally disillusioned by the whole industry because every prop firm I look at, when you delve into them in depth, they're using the same model or a similar variation on the model that the CFTC have shut down. So I just think it's a house of cards. And it's unfortunate because it's kind of taken a lot of the possible income away from people. that know how to do it. You know, you're better off using your own capital, and that's what I'm doing now. Use your own capital, and just accept that you will draw down into that capital. That's the thing. It doesn't matter what you draw down into your own capital, does it? Just follow the process. That's the important thing. Be aware of this afternoon. Big moves coming on the CAD and the US dollar. Not sure where we're going to go. Will depend on the news and obviously the direction. But we've got lots of potential volatility coming in this afternoon. Obviously, keep an eye on this. Every time I see the word Japan, I'm just watching to see if it's related to FX movement. Keep your eyes peeled on this. Obviously, the ground offensive is going to start at any second, potentially, although there's lots of talk now about them maybe not. So there's all sorts of rumors flying around, as there always is with wars. But there's a possibility of any of this news that comes in here being red news and causing some kind of very large market movement, specifically a stock sell-off or a Swiss franc buy or a US dollar buy, as we run into the safe havens and gold. So just keep your eyes peeled on this. The main thing I think there's going to be the flashpoint for the FX market specifically is going to be if Iran get involved with Lebanon. If that happens, Hezbollah and Iran siding against Israel, it really puts Israel on the back foot, which escalates the whole thing, because we have to support Israel, US, UK, etc. We have agreements in place, which drags us straight into another massive conflict. So what we'll find typically is if escalation happens, as it did with Russia and Ukraine, you get a stock market collapse. So when I say collapse, I mean multiple ADR days, big strong moves, hideously fast moves that you can't do anything about. So you'll probably know about them before you actually get to read about them, because they'll just happen in the markets and you'll suddenly go, what was that? Oh, I see. But just be aware of them, and be prepared always to get out of stuff. Yeah, if you've got money on the table, get out. If you're at all worried about anything, if it's getting too big, tank it. Yeah, at the end of the day, if you take a loss, you take a loss. What you don't do is you blow your account. So be very careful just at the minute, especially if you're position trading, obviously, because we are using soft stops. So you need to be aware of, obviously, world events. All right, so I'll be back this afternoon at the usual time at 2:20. We'll trade the US session. Anything you need, I'll be in Telegram. Hopefully the stream holds up this afternoon. Thankfully, it's held up today. Yeah, anything you need, let me know. But otherwise, I'll be back 2:20 this afternoon, 7:50 tomorrow morning, same time for the Frankfurt session. We'll see if we can make some more money this afternoon. So have a good day.